My first impressions of being a student at Oxford, I would say that I had a culture shock. I went from being one of many Black Caribbean students in a classroom to being one of two Black people in a room or in the college, and also just coming into contact with people from radically different backgrounds to me, and just having my own feelings of, oh, I don't fit in here. So it was a culture shock, and getting my head around the traditions of Oxford as well. So matriculation, buying your gown, buying your all of the regalia to go to these ceremonies, and hearing half of it in Latin, not knowing quite what's going on. That was a culture shock, but enriching at the same time. The JCR did a great job of organising many events, which I should probably not recall, but exciting times to do stuff. We had some time to do stuff in the day and in the evenings and at night as well, and just meet people from different year groups as well who'd gone before and said, you know, you can survive it, you can do it. That was really, really helpful. My first Oxford tutorial was scary, but it was great to have some feedback on my essay. I think as well, I probably didn't spend enough time on the essay, that my first one. I underestimated how much time it would take to do a lot of reading and breadth of reading in order to get a good argument. So when I got the feedback from my essay, I was like, oh, okay, I understood that. So that was quite scary, but I think over time I kind of got into the rhythm of it, because I got to know my peers on the course as well, and we kind of knew how we would respond in the tutorial situation. The best thing about being at Oxford was, I'm going to say two things. I'm going to cheat on this question. I would say, one, my friendship groups, being able to meet people from different backgrounds and have lifelong friendships to this day, which is great. But also the study side, although, you know, deadlines came and we had to revise for exams and all that kind of pressure. But what I really enjoyed about my studies was my final year. I did a module on Ben Jonson, whom I loved. People have a love affair with Shakespeare, but I prefer Ben Jonson. And I had great one-to-one tutorials with my tutor, and it was the module in which I got a first. So I was really happy about that. Just seeing the fruits of all the hard work and doing a lot more sort of wider research on one particular module was really great. I liked that unit, and I remember it affectionately. I guess one of the worst things about Oxford was that sort of unspoken pressure that you're always, I felt that I wasn't doing well enough. I felt like I'd gone from being quite a bright student in my secondary school to going to the bottom of the class and staying there for 3 years. That was the pressure that I felt, because you know that Oxford is a prestigious university. It's a great place to learn. You know, you're sitting with tutors who write the books. It's amazing, the opportunity and the resource. You kind of have this sort of internal pressure that I'm going to be found out, I'm an imposter, I'm not good enough. And I think that never really left me when I was studying. I experienced racism during my time at uni when I was in the college bar, and just having what I thought was a great conversation with a fellow student. And then they just turned around and asked me if I had a gun, if I owned a gun. And I didn't know where this came in the conversation or why they said it, but the assumption was because I was Black and because I lived in London, then obviously I would own a gun. After that conversation, I did feel a bit funny, because it was like we were having a great chat, and all of a sudden you make this assumption about me, which is totally unfounded, and just you know, again, the assumption as well that to be Black is to be associated with violence. It's just that for me, just it was quite unpleasant. If I could go back in time and give my teenage self some advice, I would say go for it, because Oxford is not as scary as you think it is, and listen to the people who are cheering you on when you get to Oxford, because you will. Spend a bit more time enjoying the reading Spend a bit more time not worrying about how you look or appear next to other people. Don't compare yourself to other people. Spend time enjoying your friendships, enjoying your reading, enjoying your studies. Don't feel that you have to be a certain way because you got in and you're going to get in. Yeah.